Two-time U.S. Open 9-ball champion. Dynamite, Darren, Appleton.
I came from the mud.
Looks good. Looks good. It is good.
The most important one was winning the World 10-ball championship because it's everyone's dream to be world champion.
Couldn't go into the edge of this.
I'm a grinder, fighter, play with a lot of emotion, a lot of art. Hello guys, welcome back to another Back to Basics edition, and today we're going to show you and speak about how to draw the cue ball back. I do a lot of teaching, like I said before, and one of the first things I notice is that when you're drawing the ball, you're hitting too high on the cue ball. You're frightened to go really low, and that's because the tempo and timing is not there. You end up hitting the ball too hard. There's a lot of tension in the arm, a lot of tension in the hand. You end up choking the cue. A lot of miscues, over-hitting the ball, and just everything breaks down and you don't get the cue ball exactly where you need it, and also you're hitting the ball too hard. So anyway, I'm going to show you the best way to draw the cue ball back. Right, so let's go over what most of you are doing wrong. So I do a lot of teaching, like I said before, and the biggest mistakes I see is the additions I've been doing so far. It all really combines to the same thing, whether it's your pre-shot, having your hand in the right position, tempo and timing, and it all connects together basically. So when it comes to drawing the cue ball back, this is why you've got to get your basics right, and this is what I see most of you doing wrong all the time. So what I do see is that a lot of you have got your hand in the wrong spot. You don't get your pre-shot, so you're not lined up properly. You end up holding the cue in the wrong spot. You're too close to the cue ball, but also I see a lot of you're aiming too high on the cue ball, so it all gets a bit stabby. You're all stabbing the ball like this, not going through the cue ball. You're just stabbing at it, and you're trying to force the cue ball to come back. So let's do a little demonstration what I see a lot of you do. So a lot of you basically, you're just aiming too high on the cue ball and trying to hit the ball too hard to get the cue ball to come back, just like that. So I've had to really hit that ball really hard, and it takes its time to come back, and you end up choking the cue. You might even lift your head up. Same thing again there. You see it's taking an age to come back, and it's coming back very slowly, and you're having to smash the object ball into the pocket. So let's show you how to do it correctly. Right, so it's very important to go over all the stuff what I've been showing you on the previous editions. Pre-shot, get your hand in the right position, tempo and timing, and it all leads to good execution and being able to do like the simple things the right way. So as I said before, I always start with this little practice routine here. Just keep it nice and simple, just to make sure that I'm going through the cue ball nicely and in a straight line and not over-hitting the ball. So I put the cue ball in line with this diamond, my hand in the middle of this diamond, or like I said before, a hand width away, and it roughly works out more or less the same. So I'm usually about 8 to 10 inches away from the cue ball, and the key when you're drawing the cue ball back is to aim as low as you can. So long as I hit the cue ball fractionally before the cloth, I won't miss cue if I go through the cue ball. So it's a nice loose grip, go through the cue ball. And if you trust it and you practice it and keep a nice loose grip, you'll start to find that these shots are very easy. So anyway, let's give it a go. So nice and low on the cue ball. Make sure you get lined up properly. Aim as low as you can on the cue ball and go through the cue ball, just like that. So as you could see there, I hit the ball very, very softly, very easy. Kept a nice loose grip and drove through the cue ball. So this time I played with a closed bridge. Same again, nice and low on the cue ball. And drive through the cue ball, just like that. And if you do that, it makes your positional shots a lot easier. You get rid of all the tension in your arm, your hand, your shoulders. You're going to bring the cue ball, the cue back better, and go through the cue ball, and it's going to stop that stabbiness and very short, stabby strokes, hitting the cue ball too high and trying to hit it too hard. So it's all about execution. Aim as low as you can on the cue ball and just trust it. Bring the cue back and go through the cue ball. And if you start doing that, then your game is going to massively improve.